Hello, YouTube. My name is Poopy, and today I have two really long stories about dating, kinda. So let's get right into it. So the TLDR on this one is guy came over 3.5 hours late, was high as hell, did drugs in my bathroom, and wore a fedora. But it starts like this. I don't know if this is worth typing out, but here it goes. I had this guy that I was somewhat interested in a couple years ago. We had recently reconnected and wanted to hang out. The guy was supposed to come over around 4 p.m. and exchange music and chill for a couple hours. I didn't hear from him until 5 to 6-ish that he got held up at some thing and he's on his way. 7:30 rolls around and he arrives finally. So 3.5 hours late. He's in a suit and tie on a Thursday afternoon for a chill session. Okay, moving on. We walk in the door, and he immediately comments on the kitchen cabinets, saying they were incredible and nice. This was an old farmhouse rental, with bowed/warped cabinets. Then he commented on the floors and how he could come over and fix them this weekend. Okay, already annoyed, so moving on, continuing the tour of the house. We get upstairs to my roommate's room, and he sees his drum set. He asks, "Oh, can I play?" I said no at the same time as the roommate's girlfriend said yes. I stare at her, wide eyes, trying to send signals to her that this is awkward as fuck. He's oblivious, so he hops on and talks about how these drums are okay, but the ones he had were 5K, and the kind that Metallica used. Eye rolls everywhere right now. Then he gets hot and takes off his suit jacket and folds it up and says, "It's Armani." And as he folds it, he drops a money clip that he was using as a decorative attachment to the suit and says, "That's my Gucci money clip. It doesn't work anymore because I used to carry so much cash and no longer clips tightly around small bills." What the fuck ever, dude. Don't care. He then starts going on a rant about the Looney Tunes and Shaq advocating for toothpaste, and mid-sentence was like, I forgot what I was talking about. And I was like, don't ask me, you weren't making sense. You think that's it, but no, it gets worse. I finally get him back downstairs to do our music exchange, full of regret by now. He says he needs to use the restroom. He goes and is gone for 10 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? Is he shitting in there? So he finally comes out and says he needed to get something out of his car. This takes 5 minutes and he comes back in wearing a fedora. A fucking fedora. I just laugh at him and he goes, "What? You don't like it?" He then tells me that this whole time, 1 to 1.5 hours, his car was running because he had forgotten to shut it off. Then he says he needs to go to the bathroom again. By this point, I'm frantically trying to figure out ways to bail. He comes out finally and shows me some EDM shit I was not fond of. While doing so, he was doing some fucking hand dances. Out of nowhere, my friend calls me with an actual emergency in which she needed to take her daughter to the hospital and needed me to watch her other kids while she did so. I had to hide my excitement considering the circumstances she was in, but I couldn't have been more excited to get this kid the fuck out of my house. I told him I had to go because my friend had to take her daughter with Down syndrome to the ER, and he goes, "Oh, I totally get it. My brother has autism." I just move past him and hold the door open for him and say my goodbyes. What the fuck, guy? When I got back from my friends, my roommates and I discussed what the fuck just happened and why he was in the bathroom so long. We even checked the toilet, thinking he did an upper decker or something. A few weeks later, he's arrested for cocaine possession. 6 months later, he messages me out of nowhere while I was out drinking and talks about how he's turned a new leaf and has intentions to become a speaker for drug addiction and work with recovering addicts. Now, don't get me wrong, that's great and all, but not my problem, nor does drunk me give a shit, and I just reply with, "Cool, but I'm pretty sure you did drugs in my bathroom." To which he replied, "Probably." Alright. Needless to say, I stopped talking to that guy. Now, I'm not going to say very much about this story because it's pretty obvious that this guy is coked out of his mind while he's at this woman's house. So, you know, let's move on to the next story. So, this next story is not concluded, but there is a lot of updates in the comments, so I'm going to read those after I read the main text. So, here we go. I met this girl about a year ago. We would stare at each other in class. This went on for months. And I took a liking to her. It seemed like she liked me back because she smiled at me and would say hi to me. One day, I found her Instagram and slid into her DMs. The first thing I did was tell her that I wanted to get to know her. She told me that she didn't want a relationship, but it wasn't me, it was her. Little did I know, this was because she was a part of a huge mess over a situation with my other friend who she had known since middle school. I didn't know this at the time. I kept trying to text her, but she would just leave me on read and became super dry with me. It was obvious she didn't want to talk to me, but I never fully lost feelings for her. Don't ask me why, because I don't know either. All I know is that when I would look in her eyes, I saw someone who wore a mask and needed help. I decided that I wanted to be there for her and would never give up. I texted her every once in a while during the school year, just to check up on her. In the middle of the school year, she came over to where me and my friend were at lunch, and she pulled him aside, and from what I got out of it was that she told him that she liked him. I also learned shortly after that she had been on and off with him with her feelings. She would tell him that she liked him, and then she would say that she didn't. So I guess that she had finally made up her mind by then. When they were talking, my friend started crying, so it must have not been a perfect yes either. But they ended up fighting a lot. So much so that they decided it would be better if they didn't speak to each other. He would tell me how he drank because he was depressed of her. He would tell me how he drank because he was depressed because of her. And he said a lot of bad things about her in general. That went on till the end of the year, and when the last day went by, I stopped texting her. I wasn't sure why I did, but I did know that I would get anxious talking to her because I knew I would be left on red and she didn't care about me. It hurt, but I kept going. Till I stopped, like I said before. It was the last day of class, and I texted her to ask how she did on a test, and then I didn't text her for a month during summer break. I wanted to talk to her, but the anxiety was still there, so I avoided it. The idea of being so distant with her that we wouldn't even say hi to each other when we passed each other in the halls made me sick. So I manned up and texted her one night. We talked, and she asked me very early on, "Why are you texting me?" Damn. I told her that it was because I haven't talked to her in a bit and that I enjoy talking to her. After that, I made goals to reach out for in our convos, to set up more convos and then get closer as friends. The plans I made worked. They worked a little too much, in fact. One of the goals I set was her opening up about the situation with her and my friend. I gave myself till the end of summer to reach it, and it only took me about 3 days. We started texting every other day, which then turned into every day. She had another secret that explained a lot of things. She told me not to tell anyone, and I have never told anyone, so I won't be saying it here. Sorry. But to shed some light onto it, she told me she hasn't been happy for a long time. It was her deepest secret, and from learning that, and after hearing both sides of the situation her and my friend went through, everything clicked. It made sense why she wasn't interested in me at all. Why she looked hurt, why my friend became depressed over her. But through all of that, I still had feelings for her, and becoming closer friends made me fall for her hard. While we texted, I realized that above all else, I want to see her happy, and that I want to be there for her whenever she needed me. I wanted to be her friend most of all. We kept texting, and I made it super obvious that I liked her. When school started again, it was really hard for me to talk to her in person because all of our classes are super far from each other, and we don't have a class together. I only see her in between second and third period, so most of our talking has been through text. One day, I asked her if she wanted to hang out during a football game. We were both going, and she asked me if I like her. I told her how I felt, and she said she didn't feel the same way. I was okay with that, though, because all I cared about was being her friend. She said she felt awkward after it, though. I think we definitely rushed our friendship, if that's even possible. I mean, she shared her deepest secret with me when we had only been real friends for 2 months. Ever since then, I've been trying to fix our friendship. I'm trying to get things back to normal where we can talk every day like we used to. She has somewhat fixed things with my other friend, and he has moved on with a new girl he loves very much. I have one final plan with her, and that was to ask her to homecoming. But because things are awkward right now, I won't be doing that. Instead, I'm going to go to homecoming and ask her to dance with me. I miss talking to her a lot. It feels like something is missing, to be honest. I'm not sure what it is in the future for me, but I'm never going to give up on her. I think I might be in love with her, but the thought of that scares me, lol. So, with that being said, thank you for reading. I hope everything made sense. If you have any advice, go ahead. So, that's the main story. Now, the updates, it gets kind of depressing, so bear with me. The first update goes as follows. Things are very different from when I posted this, lol. Right after this, we went back to talking every day again. But that stopped about a month ago because I got her mad at me. Until this day, she won't talk to me because she is still mad. Somebody asks, what got her mad? And the op says, we had a fight one night. We both didn't even finish it. we just went to bed instead. Hmm, that's a rough feeling. When I got to school the next day, I apologized. The next 3 days, she ignored me, and so when I saw her at school again, I asked her why. She told me she needed space, and I asked if we could talk the next day. We did, and she told me she wasn't okay with me and that she wouldn't be for a while. 1 month later, and she still won't talk to me, and she blocked me, so I can't text her either. And that same person asks what was the fight about, and Op says she felt that I was forcing her to open up. By the end of it all, I definitely was, even though I didn't mean to. I don't see how I did it at the start, however. But in the end, it doesn't matter because it's how she felt the entire time, and to be honest, I needed some space from her too. My only hope now is that we become friends again later on. Well, that was pretty depressing. Um, yeah, that was kind of a long one. I think this guy might be overstepping a little bit, but he didn't really say much about totally how the girl felt about him. But it seems like she's going through her own thing, so we're not gonna victim blame. But unfortunately, that is all I have for today. I have two very melancholy stories. A little bittersweet. The first one was kind of funny because dude was coked out of his mind, but the second one is just kind of sad. But that is all I have today because I'm kind of in a rush. So the editing will be light on this video. I apologize. But it will be out Friday, April 3rd, I think. So thank you so much for watching. There will be another video coming out in 3 days with more stories and more emotion. So with that being said, please subscribe, like the video, comment if you want to get a story of yours read. And with that being said, bye bye. Love ya.